Hello and welcome to this week's weekly vlog. So I wanted to tell you guys about this thing that happened to me last week with Mags. It was absolutely terrifying. So across the road from me we've got these fields and we go there every day, and I always like to have like a bit of a power walk around there. It's nice to just take a break from my computer and stuff and just clear my mind, and it's always quite relaxing over these fields, beautiful views as well. Anyway, so I've been doing this like every day for a year, like since we moved here. So Maggie knows the route really well. So after I filmed my How It's Made video last Thursday, I thought, you know, this is a perfect time to take Mags over the field. So we took a stroll over there. I've done the usual thing, let her off the lead in the first field. She's gone legging it through to the second field, and usually by the time I've made it up to the end of the first field, which is only maybe a 30-second walk, she would have come back to me and like tried to find me, just like kind of looking for me, and she'll do this like 2 or 3 times. So anyway, I get to the end of the first field and I don't see her, and I'm thinking she's found something, like her attention has been caught by something else. But she'll obviously come to me in the second field. So I walked through the second field and I saw a family with a beagle, and you know, they're only small little things, and I couldn't see Mags, and I thought this is kind of weird because Mags, especially if she sees other people or other dogs, she'll always run back to me. She'll always come to be like kind of territorial around me, and she didn't come back. So I was thinking, this is kind of odd. They've recently put a sty in that goes from the second field through to the existing fields beyond. And Maggie, because it's kind of like low to the ground, Maggie has a bit of a problem. She has to like crawl through on her belly to get through. It's really cute. And she's kind of scared of it, so she would normally wait for me there as well, but she wasn't there. So I thought she must have just gone through, she must have found some courage, gone through to the next fields and just legged it off, because she is a nutter. Maggie is a nutter when we're out. So I've gone over the sty, I've gone into the next fields, and I can't see her. And down the bottom of the fields were a load of cows. They've recently put a load of cows in there, and that was the first time that I'd seen them. So I thought, oh God, I wonder if the cows have spooked Maggie and she's like legged it off somewhere else. So I came back over the sty, and by this point I'm panicking because I'm thinking she would have come back to me by now. She always comes back to me to check on me, just to have a glance, just to see where I am, and she hasn't. So I started to freak out, and I went back right through to the first field, and I couldn't see her, and I was listening, like I was straining my ears to try and hear like any panting or running through the bushes. So I came back out of the first field, I went through into the second field, and a woman had just crossed over the sty with her dog. So I said to her, have you seen a liver and white Springer Spaniel that gone past you? And she said, no, I haven't. And I thought, oh my God, this is crazy, because surely this woman would have seen Maggie tearing around and go, if she's just come from the direction that I would expect Maggie to be, and she's not seen her. So now I'm absolutely freaking out. And the one time that I go out without my phone, so now I'm in the middle of these fields thinking, do I leave the field to go to my mum's, which is down the road, and get my mum and my brother to come out and help me search for Maggie, or do I stay in the fields where I know Maggie is and try and carry on looking for her? And it was such a hard decision, because I probably had been in there by this point about 15 minutes, and I was screaming, Maggie, Maggie, and she wasn't coming. And it was a really hard decision to leave those fields knowing that Maggie could possibly still be in these fields looking for me or hurt. And I just had all of these what ifs going through my head, like, is someone trying to take her now? Like, where the hell is my dog? Anyway, I made the decision to leave the fields. It was really hard, and I was really, by this point, like hysterical that I was leaving the fields without my dog. And I ran across the road, and Pam, my neighbour, was gardening, and I started shouting, Pam, have you seen Maggie? And she said, yes, I've sent her over to your mum's. And I was like, what? Like, that was the last thing I expected to hear. Like, when I left those fields, I'd kind of resigned myself to thinking I might not see Maggie again. I need to prepare myself for that. But when Pam was like, yeah, I've sent her over to your mum's, I was like, okay. So I ran over to my mum's, which is pretty much across the road from where I live. And Maggie was sat by my mum's car looking absolutely spooked. Her ears were flat, the whites of her eyes were showing, and she didn't come to me. Like, I ran to across the road and I went, Maggie, and only when I got close to her did she come to me. She like barreled up against me, like flung up against me, and she just seemed really relieved to see me. So I knocked on my mum's door and I was like, oh my god, Mum, I just lost Maggie, and I couldn't catch my breath. I started to have like this panic attack. It was awful, but I think it was more like out of relief that Maggie was in front of me, and I just don't understand why she left the fields without me, because I've lost Maggie in the past. Like, you do lose your dog when you go out walking. Like, they tend to kind of go off. Like, if you've got a Springer Spaniel or a dog that just loves to run, then you know this, they love to run off, but they do always come and check back in with you. And with Maggie, she would never just leave the fields if she knew she could carry on running. She'd be like, no, I'm going to stay here and just run around and have fun. And I'm really surprised that she left these fields without me. Like, I think someone maybe tried to usher her out, or some just numpty who is leaving the field open, because there's like a big heavy gate that you have to open and close. So I'm thinking someone maybe walked out and just like let Maggie go through with them. But I'm just so relieved that Maggie's okay. And when I got her back, I got her back home, and I was just like, you know when you get emotionally drained, I was just literally like monging out with her. I just sat on the bed and I was like, oh my god, that was so harrowing. But I'm so pleased that she's okay. Mags, come here. Come here. Look, you're okay. She's such a nightmare. You can't always run off and leave me, can you? I want to get like some proper baby reins for her now. But yeah, everything's okay now, thank goodness. But in other news, in World of Warcraft news, which I'm still addicted to, by the way, we are starting to, as a guild, work on clearing Heroic Emerald Nightmare. We've got, I know this kind of maybe for a lot of you guys is like, oh, we're way ahead of that, but we had a lot of mishaps with like moving guilds and trying to get all together into a group and stuff like that at the beginning of Legion, and we've only really just settled now into the guild. So we've raided Emerald Nightmare maybe 3 times as a group, and we've cleared normal, and we're now onto heroic. So for me, that's like really good progress. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, I posted a thing about, like, do you guys, like, what is your experience from a healing point of view, or maybe even from a DPS point of view, if you're quite aware of the health bars and things like that? What's your experiences with Demon Hunter tanks? So, Dude plays a Demon Hunter tank, and I've been healing him now for, you know, months. So I'm well aware of the spiky damage and the self-healing, and, you know, I don't even bother healing him when he first runs into a fight. I'll just hot him up, put my Jade statue, you know, soothing mist on him, and I'll let him get on with it, because I know that his health's going to drop to about 50 and then he just goes straight back to 100, so there is no point in me wasting mana on him at that point. But the issue that I'm having here with his health is, if he drops to say round about 6-7% health, obviously we start freaking out, because it's like, that's too low, that's scary low. But I find that even if I life cocoon him, I'm dropping my enveloping mist on him, you know, my big heals, his health does not go up. There is something seriously wrong with it. Like, no matter how much I spam Zen Pulse, anything I've got, chuck it on him, his health does not go up. Unless I use my, you know, my Shaylin, is it Shaylin? You know, my staff thing, where all the mists come together and it's like a kind of like a lay on hands in a way. Unless I use that, his health does not go up, and I cannot figure out why someone's health would say stay sustained at like 5%, even with mega heals on them. Like, has anybody else experienced that, where your heals just feel like they are not landing or making a dent or whatever, like let me know in the comments below. I want to have a discussion about this because I need to figure out what the deal is with that, because it's scary. And I feel like I'm the only one that kind of has a problem with this. When I talk to other people about it, they're just like, nah, I've not noticed it. No, they're fine to heal, blah, blah, blah. And they, like, dude is fine to heal, really. It's just when he goes to like 5% and will not shift up from that until all of the mobs are dead. It's weird. Anyway, I feel like I've been babbling a lot in this vlog, so I'm going to go. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you on Friday if you're a patron for the Friday surprise. And if you're not, then I will see you next Monday for the weekly vlog. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Do you like my new slippers? I got them a couple of days ago and they have not left my feet. Touch. Kiss. Have a little kiss. Oh, your nose is wet, that means you're happy. Paw. Yay, other paw. Yay. Touch. Yeah.